In this presentation, we'll be talking about exhibition as a vehicle for learning and teaching in design and architecture. My name is Monica Lukowska-Appel, and my co-authors are Dr. Jolly Tai and Dr. Boon Ong. The average person usually thinks of exhibition as a site of public engagement, but exhibitions can also be used as a pedagogical tool. This is what we'll be discussing here. Scholars have examined exhibitions as research tools, a site of public engagement, and a space of dialogue. Here we focus on exhibitions as a pedagogical tool. This can be either didactic or experiential or both. Our presentation will focus on the experiential aspect. Before we continue, we would like to introduce the foundational idea that this presentation is based on, which is, as Dewey stated in 1938, that all genuine education comes about through experience.
To understand this idea better, we must provide you with some background and context. Our theoretical framework views exhibitions as a pedagogical tool. This is informed by O'Neill and Wilson's educational turn, in which exhibitions are seen as a site of collective inquiry and also as a place where knowledge production occurs. This perspective of exhibitions enabled us to reframe our understanding of exhibitions, and we started to consider how exhibitions could be used as pedagogical tools. Our theoretical framework is also influenced by Dewey's notion of learning through experience and brings together three approaches to learning. The first is Kolb's concept of experiential learning, where knowledge is created through the transformation of experience. The second is authentic learning, which situates learning tasks in the context of real world situations. And finally, work integrated learning, which is a form of experiential learning that involves external partners in the co design and evaluation of a 4 credit project in a workplace or simulated workplace setting. Another influence is Sean's work on reflective practice, in which knowledge is built through reflection in action. This particular approach is viewed in both design and architecture disciplines as an integral part of design practice. Lastly, we also consider how exhibitions can enable cross-disciplinary collaboration by applying Maslow's hierarchy of needs, constructivism, and organizational learning. All of these informed our use of the Roy G. Biv exhibition as a pedagogical tool.
The name of the exhibition is based on the name Roy G. Biv, a celebration of color, and brought together work from a range of disciplines and media, and also from a wide variety of perspectives to celebrate color in all its forms. The public program for the Roy G. Biv exhibition involved talks and workshops and included a number of activations across campus leading up to and during the exhibition. All of these occurred at Curtin University in Bentley, Western Australia. You can have a look at the exhibition website by scanning the QR code on the right. We established a practical framework to guide how we would use the exhibition as a vehicle for learning, comprised of a list of the roles that students might adopt as a participant in the exhibition, as well as a curatorial premise containing a set of guidelines. The list of roles includes being a leader, a learner, a promoter, a creator, and a visitor. This framework recognizes that students might move between roles or play multiple roles simultaneously. We established 5 key guidelines that should inform the curatorial premise. 1. There must be a diversity of disciplines. 2. There must be diversity of levels and roles of the people involved in the exhibition. 3. There must be diversity of disciplinary expertise, from emerging to more established practitioners. 4. There must be diversity of culture. And finally, and most importantly, the exhibition theme must support these first 4 guidelines.
2 units were linked to the Roy G. Biv exhibition. The first one is called Start Design Thinking. This is a first-year core unit in the graphic design major, which sits in the Bachelor of Design. As part of this unit, students were engaged in an authentic learning experience where they worked on a design brief with a real client and delivered real-world outcomes. Students were expected to work together in cross-disciplinary teams to deliver a solution to the brief. From the range of solutions produced by the various student teams, the client selected one solution to be produced and installed across campus, resulting in a tangible result that the students could see. In terms of how the practical framework was applied here, we saw the students performing all 5 roles at different points in time, bearing in mind that not all students played all roles. For example, when working in teams, some students might adopt a leader role, whereas other students might choose not to do so. However, all the students in the unit would have experienced being a promoter, a creator, and a learner. By collaborating with their team members to create a solution to promote the exhibition, they simultaneously played the roles of both promoter and creator. And since they were doing this within the context of a unit, they were then learners as well. Finally, the students who visited the exhibition would have performed the role of a visitor.
The second unit is called Architectural Science in Context. This is also a first year core unit, but in the Bachelor of Architecture course. In this unit, students engage in work integrated learning by working in authentic ways that mirrored real world industry practice. Students were also required to engage in curatorial practice and use this to inform their architectural practice. The community of practice in architecture is centered on students working collaboratively to produce, discuss, and reflect on their work. Students in the unit also needed to understand environmentally responsive design. Ultimately, students designed spaces for the exhibition in the response to a set of real world constraints. In the case of this unit, students played 4 roles. As with the graphic design unit, all the students were learners and creators, since they were engaged in formal learning within the unit and creating the work for the exhibition. The students who took on greater responsibility for task completion performed a leader role, while those who attended the exhibition had a visitor role.
We now move on to discuss the impact and outcomes of using the Roy G. Biv exhibition as a pedagogical tool. In terms of impact, students from 2 units were given the opportunity to produce work related to the exhibition. The final exhibition itself saw 7 institutions from 8 different countries participate, exhibiting a total of 40 different works, which included work by Curtin students. A total of 159 students created work in response to the exhibition or exhibition promotion. This number includes students from other countries and institutions, but does not include students who only attended the exhibition and did not contribute any work.
This table shows the outcomes of the exhibition in terms of learning through experience for 3 different categories of student. Those who did the GRD 1026 unit, those who did ARC 1025 unit, and those who did neither of these. As can be seen here, students producing real-world outputs for a real client and a design brief engage in the 3 different types of learning through experience mentioned earlier in this presentation: experiential learning, work integrated learning, and authentic learning. The same 3 types apply when students present to clients and stakeholders and receive feedback from them. For students who attended the exhibition as visitors, their attendance shifts learning beyond the classroom so that students do not only learn about theory, they are also able to see how theory is practiced in the real world. Ultimately, all the students who engaged in the exhibition in some capacity were able to gain an understanding of how practice informs theory through their own real world experiences. The outcomes related to reflective practice in design and architecture can be categorized as formal or informal. The formal category being where students engage in reflective practice as part of learning activity or assessment. For design students, reflective practice is done in the context of design thinking, whereas for architecture students, reflective practice requires them to repeatedly examine the relationship between their work and its context. The informal category refers to all the students and assessed personal reflections that occurred in response to the exhibition, the work that was exhibited and produced, the roles in relation to this, and the impact this will have on their future and disciplinary practice. The outcomes related to cross disciplinary collaboration and learning were as expected. Students worked with students from different disciplines through the 2 units mentioned previously, which allowed them to learn from different disciplines by working alongside others from other disciplines, as well as by attending the exhibition and seeing the work from the different disciplines being presented together in one location and in one context. The exhibition provided students with a concrete way to see how the different disciplines could work together and inform each other. Additionally, through all of the events, like the talks and the exhibition lounge, students were able to network with students from different disciplines and to discuss or reflect on the exhibition together.
We also identified some additional unexpected benefits. Although our focus was on trying to determine how best to improve students' learning experiences by integrating exhibitions, we inadvertently improved our own pedagogical practice by trying out this approach to learning and teaching. We increased our understanding of project based experiential learning design and now have a better understanding of how to implement the use of exhibitions as a pedagogical tool, including knowledge of what works and what does not. We also improved our understanding of students' learning expectations in terms of what they expected as a learner, as well as what they expected from their peers and from teaching staff. Another unexpected benefit was creative camaraderie. This term, proposed by Loy and Anker, captures how shared experiences enable staff and students to build a shared design culture. For us, this highlights that exhibitions are an excellent way to create shared experiences for staff and students, and knowing this helps to motivate us to do this regularly.
We would like to end with our reflections and discuss the future direction of our research. When we reflected on what makes exhibitions as an effective pedagogical tool, especially for design and architecture, we realized that exhibitions are ideal because they align well with these disciplines in several ways. Firstly, exhibitions are able to provide a range of different authentic learning experiences for students. Second, exhibitions in design and architecture are usually experiential, not just didactic. Because of this, students have richer learning experiences. Additionally, exhibitions are a common and essential medium used in design and architecture, which makes it a natural choice for integrating into the learning and teaching of these disciplines. The inherently cross disciplinary nature of exhibitions also lends itself to this. And finally, there is an added bonus of creating a shared experience that helps to build a shared design culture, a creative camaraderie.
We also reflected on how to use exhibitions and the practical framework that we proposed at the start of the presentation. Having the framework was useful because it helped us understand how to connect all the different units and activities and link these with the exhibition. This includes thinking about the different roles that we want the students to experience and perform, and examining how all the different aspects of the curatorial premise should be implemented so that the exhibition delivers the intended outcomes. We realize that it's important to consider the operational challenges involved. This includes the student's capacity to deliver, such as their study load, time, available resources, and motivation, as well as the staff and organizational capacity, especially with regards to budget, time, resources, and workload. And then, of course, if any activities are completed as part of a unit or course requirement, there needs to be clear alignment with the relevant unit or course learning outcomes.
So, where to from here? We see this presentation as the first in a series. We intend to contribute to design education research by continuing to investigate how exhibitions can be used as a vehicle for learning and teaching. If you are interested in collaborating on an exhibition or would like to discuss how to do your own, we would love to hear from you. Thank you.